All right, everybody, welcome back to the 1216 podcast, the manga. Oh my gosh, edition. We are going over One Piece chapter 1110. You know it's about to be something that's going crazy. Next chapter, especially because it's 1111, aka the Three Sword Style Swordsman's birthday. So Zoro has to have something done with next chapter. But for right now, let's focus up on what we have to go through. Chapter 1110, Planetfall. Oh my god, the title alone just makes you feel scared. But we start off, of course, like we always do, and we have volume 2 of the Wano edition of the cover art. Starting off with the Oni-Chao Yamato, and of course the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrim Volume 2. I'm going to travel all over Wano just like Odin. We're assuming that this is going to be all about Yamato and her travels. So not so much as Blackbeard and what my cover art was thinking about my cover art theory before, but it looks like it's going to be a cover art that's going to depict the tales that Yamato has as she goes all throughout Wano traveling around. And of course it won't be animated, but we do know that this will be happening, so that's pretty cool. I like to see that. As we start back off right when we left off, from 1009, from 1109. 1110 starts off just like it finished, with the black lightning coming down from the sky, and it's a bunch of different things we could theorize, but we all knew we had that sick feeling in our gut what that black lightning had to be. And of course, as we have the pacifistas going crazy and the giants raiding everywhere, forcing the Marines to back up, the Marines are just outnumbered. We know that we have Vegapunk's message on play right now that he left for whenever he's on the brink of death, so the world can see it play. And as we know that the world is watching this play as we are on Egghead, everything is going to shit. The Marines are finally getting what they deserved, until Jay Garcia does something and he ends up summoning up 4 different magical circles. And of course, you guessed it, had to be the rest of the elders. So of course we have Jay Garcia, the Gokai. We have Saint Marcus Mars out here as he is the Itsumi. We have Saint Topman Warcry, the Hokai. We have Saint Ethan Baron V Natsaru, aka the Bakosu. And then we have Saint Shepherd Jew Peter, the Sandworm, as they all come looking very dangerous. We see just what Sabo saw inside the room of Marine Joie. Only thing different is Luffy is seeing this and they don't have Im Sama in the background. So with all the gurus say there, it's time to take action. And the first one to take off is Saint Ethan Baron. Saint Ethan Baron takes directly off as he's going around kind of like not a headless horseman, but a skeleton of a horse itself. And his skeleton is flying around, slashing all the pacifistas one time, creating a frozen-like state or a paralyzed state for the pacifistas to stop them from attacking the rest of the Marines. And as he's going around doing all of that, we see Saint Mars, as he is a bird right now, taking off and flying upwards. Because he's flying upwards, we know that Sanji is assessing the situation. To go up means that you have to get to the top of the lava sphere, where we know the Straw Hat crew is waiting to depart with the Sunny, waiting for the Sunny to come back so they can all depart and leave the island. So Sanji is just letting them know, letting Usopp know, and letting Nami know, as well as Brook, and that it's time for them to make their move and get the hell out of there. Robin come in, Nami come in, anybody can hear Sanji. He is trying to warn you guys because Saint Mars is on the way up there. He's coming to try to destroy everything that they've been working hard for to try to escape off the island. He's coming up there after them. And as St. Ethan Barron is running around, he takes out at least half of the Pacifista. And as he's taking out the Pacifista still, we have the Sandworm and, of course, Jay Garcia both battling the sun god himself, Luffy. But Luffy is dodging it. As Luffy is dodging, he realizes that this thing is digging just like a worm, of course, because it's a giant sandworm. He's trying his best to avoid it, but as he's doing that still, we know that Sanji is giving out the orders. Now he's reaching out to Jinbei because he knows that Zoro isn't back yet, and Zoro is becoming much of a burden. But it's cool because Jinbei is on his way, and as Jinbei spots them as they're fighting still, even though he's going to try to take Zoro by force, Zoro isn't being, I guess, dominated by Lucci. Zoro throws his sword into the sky immediately. As he throws his sword into the sky, he finds himself looking on with Lucci, and they're just staring eye to eye with each other, waiting for the next move to come in. And of course, the move comes in, and all you hear is spotted leopard, spotted handgun. And as the spotted handgun is going on, Zoro is sitting there dodging, bobbing, and weaving, sticking and moving, and his sword comes back down as Enma lands back inside Zoro's hands. Backwards now, Zoro unlocks his three-sword style, Hahaven Hunt, and immediately cuts right through Lucci, as Lucci was already missing everything he was throwing Zoro's way. Zoro just proves that he's on a whole nother level and just slashes up Lucci real fast because they had a conversation about whether or not they should get going to see what that immense hockey power is coming in. Now they're sensing that it's obviously more of them, and there's strong hockey just going everywhere. So as Zoro defeats him, of course, Jinbei is there watching on, and it's time to get him and go. We cut back away to Luffy, as Luffy did watch the sandworm go down to the ground and come back up. It tries to eat Luffy. Luffy realizes this and shoots up into the sky. But as he shoots up into the sky, the sandworm gets chopped in two. Into three basically, but chopped and sliced by two different people. Those people come in and say, "The child of the sun, we are here for you." And it's none other than Dory and Bragi, the old timers that are the giants. And Luffy is filled with nothing but joy. So is Dory and Bragi. And they're having the time of their lives, reconnecting finally as they get their sun god back. And Luffy gets to see the warriors of Elbaf yet again before they make it to Elbaf. And the chapter ends right there. But just a little bit of a background with it. The various elders all have their beast forms. And inside their beast forms, we have the Gokai, which is a spider-like yokai famous for its giant cow-like face that attacks people on the beach. We have the Itsumi, which is a creepy bird yokai with a human face and a snake-like body, as well as the Hokai, a monster's boar from Chinese folklore famous for terrorizing the countryside. We have the sandworm, which is a mythical serpent or a legless dragon, if you want to look at it that way, that appears in numerous modern fantasy franchises. It can also be related to similar creatures inside the work like Dune. And then, of course, we have the Bakokai, which is a skeleton yokai that is said to have the spirit of a horse that burned to death. But nonetheless, we see that this chapter brought us a lot. It brought us Jay Garcia realizing that it's time for a little bit of help because they definitely need to stop the broadcast from going and stop the sun god himself from escaping Egghead Island. We have Saint Mars, which is the Itsukai. He is a giant bird right now that's flying upwards to try to stop the broadcast as well as the Straw Hats from leaving the island. Then we have Saint Warcry as the Hawkeye, the boar. He's fighting around somewhere. I think he's still standing behind, waiting to make his move. And then of course we have the boss, the Bakokai, which is Saint Ethan Barron, and he's flying around right now as a skeleton horse, chopping shit up, and it's really crazy right now to see him as inside this form because we just know being a swordsman, we know that he is probably from the land of Wano, the original land of Wano from the Lost Countries, and we know Zoro's gonna have to face him as like one of these days. And then of course we have Saint Jupiter. He is the sandworm that is helping out right now. That just got cut in half, well, cut into three pieces by Dorian Bragi as he tries to help out inside this fight with Saint Saturday Garcia. I'm very interested to see what the hell is going on, is going to come out of this chapter for the next chapter, of course, or just out of this arc in general, because we just got introduced to a whole lot of shit. And of course, we know that the Gurus say are now on the island. So how can Luffy escape? How can Luffy do what Sabo did and really escape? He's looking on at death itself. These are the people who oversee the world government, the strongest of the strong, most likely. And you have been fighting one for a while with Saint Garcia being there with Kizaru, but Kizaru was just no match for Luffy at this point. But Saint Garcia Saturn was there. Now he brung in Mars, Warcry, Ethan Barron, and of course Jupiter, and it is about to go down. Chapter 1111 is up next, and I really hope we see more of Zoro. We got to see some of Zoro's fight, of course, him hopefully finishing off Luffy, finishing off Lucci with a new move that he has called Three Sword Style Haha Vin Hunt. And I'm just really hoping that Zoro, for his birthday chapter, gets to go all out. So tune in soon, because here at the 1216 podcast, we try to bring to you the best of the best whenever it drops. And we're only getting better as the time goes on. This is 12 signing off.